Hello everyone, the 13 Scale here, also known as Scale, and really we should put a tally on how many times I start off an episode with me fixing my posture in my chair. We are back with Venba, a story about, I want to say Indian families, but I'm increasingly less sure of that. um, but the husband here was talking about how he was having difficulties finding a better paying, more stable job. And we were talking about how it may be a good idea to work a sales job for his buddy because he has no relevant Canadian work experience was how they phrased it. And even my mother always said this, and I hate that she's right, but she's right. It is easier to find a job when you already have one. So I don't know if that's just the way that the universe works, but it's best to be working at the dollar store for a little bit until you can get back to having an office job that you want. Just something if you're really at the end of your rope. So, the truth is, it's all about who you know here, and that's true. And we barely know anyone. It really is more about who you know, and less about what you can do in literally every industry. I can't say that. I thought I just fixed that. I can't say that specifically for Canada, but for the United States, that is 100% the case. We're not in a position to pick and choose our help. I thought moving here would be a chance to start over. And you can still do that. Yes, do you need to necessarily backtrack? Yeah. But as a therapist that I've occasionally seen online has said, or counselor or something, it might only be for a season. You might only do it for like a fourth of the year, and then you go back to progressing forward. But just because you have to take a step back doesn't mean that you're backtracking. That even here, we still have to beg people like Sharish. Yeah, I know. It's not begging. I know. Look, it sucks. But sometimes when it comes to the job market, you have to swallow your pride and do something because you need the money. I think it's what Thor from Pirate Software was saying, that work a job not because it fulfills you emotionally, have a hobby that does that, but have a job that puts food on the table and focus on that. Oh god, he's waking up. I'll call him tomorrow. Thank you. But honestly, I think you're more qualified for sales than I am. Okay, but I am running a household. I'm glad that you're helping out more. But does that mean you're picking up more of the focus on taking care of Kaven? I mean, the way you sold Kaven on the Putu today. It's just thinking about how to spin it. What you need to do is convince them that either it was their idea or that this is what's best for them in some way, shape, or form. You need to figure out what their modus of operandi is and figure out how to relate it to them. That's literally what Shark Tank is about. You're really good with kids. Yes, but that doesn't necessarily correlate to being good in sales. That might make me really good as a second grade teacher. I can't believe you're having a hard time teaching in school. Probably because my English needs work. Well, it's not... God damn. I'm really tired of being sick because it screws my ability to talk. Well, it's not like teaching back home. It makes me worry about Kaven. Yeah. Why? Well, back home... Well, also, you are living in Canada right now. and it's Canada 1994, and they have yet to uncover the mass grave bodies of a lot of Indigenous children that were whisked away from their families to be assimilated forcefully into the culture in what turned out to be a very genocidal act. So I can understand the concern. I could get the class to laugh, to open up. I could get them in the mood to learn, you know? But it's harder here. Yeah. You gotta figure out how to be the cool teacher here differently. The fact that they're being educated is not enough to get them to enjoy the fact that they're being educated. You have to connect with their personal hobbies, and I think it would honestly do you a world of good if you watched Batman. Like, I don't mean that to be like patronizing in any way, but if you guys sat down as a family to watch Batman together, first off, you have something now that you can connect with your child. Your husband's English is going to slowly improve, especially if you were to watch it with captions on, but that's a different thing. And it gives you a cultural thing to the youth of today to relate back to in your lessons. So instead of doing a math question that's like, Tommy has 36 apples, and Phil has 12, and you add them together, how many apples does that have? Where instead it's, this week Batman captured 19 more criminals to put in Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum has, 300 currently, and a limit of 304. How many criminals does Batman, does the city of Gotham need to figure out where to place? Like, those kinds of things. And then you could also, like, make a fun little joke with the kids, too, and be like, oh, yeah, what would you guys do with these extra, like, criminals that Batman has caught? They're not big ones like the Joker. They're just, they're just random thugs, that kind of thing. What would you do with it, and just see what kind of jokes the kids come up with. But that's a thought. What does that have to do with Caven? I just feel like there's a wall between me and my class. I can't connect with them. They lead very different lives than we did. Well, yeah, because there's a cultural shift. What I'm saying is that while you don't forget about your culture, and you can even use your culture in educating these kids, you need to go to them. You need to connect to their culture. Because you're the one with a differing culture, in this case, in a place that it's the norm. This is something, and I know that seems kind of really rich coming from me, but there's actually a point that I'm getting to this. When I was living in Italy, I used to help kids learn English. I'm not like as a permanent staple as a teacher thing, but just kind of a system where they would bring over American college students to speak in English and talk about like just normal everyday things, or even talk about like Shakespeare with these kids. So like, the thing that got the best reaction out of these kids that are like early high school, so they like already are kind of edgy to begin with, is the day that I dressed up in cosplay as Elsa, because I could. Like, I already had a dress that kind of worked for it, and it kind of worked as I was walking around the city. But like, that got the best response out of them. They were so much more passionate about like having conversations with me and like talking about like my outfit and speaking in English than they had been for their entire lesson. So if, you connect with them on some kind of cultural middle ground, like, you're golden. And a lot of like the kids there, like, they offered to be like, hey, we'll take you to like one of the best pizza places in town, like that has some of the best stuff that's like known by locals, and this is where you go. And so, or advice like, hey, don't go to this gelato shop. Like I heard the gelateria owner like trash talking tourists, like that kind of stuff. So that's, like, if you can connect with them, you have to do a lot more of the work to connect with them. But if you can find something that you can relate to, which might mean embracing more of the local culture yourself, the more you're going to be able to connect with your students who don't really get the opportunity to connect with your culture besides their brief interactions with you. And then once you talk with them about their culture, you can connect back in with it. Anyway, I just went on a rant. I'm sorry. And I feel that same wall growing around Caven. Well, it's because he's becoming assimilated and you guys are refusing to change with your environment. Unfortunately, when you move, you kind of have to be like a river. If you stay stale and rigid, you're not going to progress, you're not going to grow, you're not going to become a part of the environment, you're just going to stay yourselves. I can't tell you how much Italian I learned for the sole purpose of being able to find what I needed in the grocery store. If I maintained that all I ever need to know is English, like, I wouldn't be able to eat, like, most of my stuff while I was there. I feel like you guys are trying, but I feel like a little more effort needs to happen. How do you mean? Especially because you're raising a kid in this environment, and your kid is becoming dual cultural, and you're staying monocultural. And it's gonna make it harder for you to connect with your kid. But what if I can't connect with Caven? You have to start looking at his interest. He suggested watching Batman. Watch Batman with him. It's so hard to even talk to him. I feel like he's growing further away from us. It's because you're not growing with him. Like, do you want to make it really cool? Like, find, what was the language? Thalma? Find, like, Batman in your language. And, like, watch Batman together in your language. For a little bit, so this way he learns it. And then, like, watch other episodes of Batman in English. He speaks in English all the time. And he talks so fast. It's hard to understand him. It's like he's in a different world than us. He is. He's in a dual cultural world. I guarantee you this kid's awake. Oh, it's more than just that. He doesn't eat lunch at school. Here's what I was telling you about. The getting bullied for the weird smelling lunches thing that my friend told me about. He brings it back every day with some excuse. Yeah, because he's getting bullied for being from a different culture. I don't know if the other kids make fun of him for it. They do. They do. Because kids suck. Like, especially around this age. Like, they're just going to find whatever you're most insecure about, and they're going to pick at it, and they're going to pick at it, and they're going to pick at it. And the only reason that he's going to be so insecure about that is because he is not around, like, he doesn't have enough pride in his own culture. If you wanted to go back and, like, visit family during the summer so that this way he has a personal connection to it rather than this is just of the descent that I'm from, like, that's going to make a huge difference. Or if he's embarrassed. Probably a little bit of that. I don't know. I'm worried. And that's why he wants pizza. These things bother me too. But we chose to bring him up here. Not him. We did it because we thought he'd have a better life here. And he does. This place comes with better education and opportunities. But it also comes with its own culture, language, and values. Thank you. We can't pick and choose the ones we want and ask him to ignore from the others. I think it's natural that any kid wants to fit in, right? Yeah. Maybe. It's just scary. Don't worry, Venba. He'll turn out fine. And I feel like if you find a way to connect with the other moms around his age, like, some of that clatter's gonna, like, die down just a little bit. Especially, like, you know, if you turn making meals or something into, like, a group activity, like him and his friends and maybe his friends' moms or something, you know, where you make a dish all together, like, I think that'd be fun. How are you so sure? He's our child. How else will he turn out? Those fallen from their resolve are stripped of respect, like hair fallen from the head. Okay, we got another day. We got different mask? That looks like a different mask. Go on. Oh no. Tell her. His name is Paval. Paval. Pavalin. Pavalin. He's my dad. Pavalin. She says Appa is not at the office. Why? Does she know what time he left? Oh. I wonder if... Because you see how his dialogue thing has splotches? I wonder if that's because he speaks so quickly that she has issues following. That's my personal theory. Oh. Do you know when my dad left the office? Please tell me she's not a single mother. No. Okay. Well, does she at least know if he came in today? Did you see my dad today? She did. Ask her if he usually leaves with anybody. Maybe we can call them. Does he usually go home with someone? A lady from the office. Probably? No. He hasn't made an effort to have communication and friends because he's concerned that his English sucks. Oh, fuck. Alright. She says no. Dad usually leaves alone, and he's very quiet. She says all of the sales staff left at 5 p.m. today. Please tell me he didn't get in a car accident. She said that he must have left then, too. Yeah, because you notice that the way that it's... Oh, no! The different colors means that he was speaking a different language. Okay, thank you. That makes way more sense. What happened? Please tell me he's okay. Where are they going? What's going on? I hate this. Why are we walking through the park, Mama? Yep, and he did it in English. Do you think Appa will be here? I don't know, Kana. Sometimes your Appa loves to walk instead of taking the bus. If he decided to walk home from the office, it should be through here. But the lady said that Appa left at 5. What's taking him so long? Nothing good. Do you think he went somewhere else first? But where would he go for this long? I don't know, Kaven. Enough with your questions. No, let him keep asking questions. These are very valid and important questions, and ones you need to be asking yourself, and I think you're upset that he's speaking English at you, rather than asking these questions in your native language, but that's me. Okay, that also might be it too. Sorry, Kana, I'm just worried about Appa. Why are you worried? Do you think something happened to him? Well, for him to not communicate like that, yeah. No, I'm sure he's fine. Stop lying through your fucking teeth, lady. They're gonna find him. You don't have to stay quiet, Kaven. Here, you can ask me anything you want. Anything? Yes, and I'll answer it. Aw. But only if you can ask in Tamil. Okay? Oh, okay, I can do that. Ahem. Okay. Okay, I can do that. Why did that lady say that Appa is very quiet? He talks a lot at home because he's not confident in his English ability and he feels like he's being judged. Oh, look at you go. See, you can speak Tamil when you want. Huh. I don't know. Maybe it's that they don't talk to him? What do you mean? Nothing. He doesn't really like his job, Caven. Maybe that's why. He was a writer back home, right? Did he like his job then? Oh, yes, he loved to write. How come I never see him write at home? Because he feels like he had to give it up. Well, well, he always writes when something bothers him. Back home, that used to be every day. I wonder if he's choosing to drink now instead. Maybe you should bug him more. Oh, I get to pick from him. What did you do back home? So, how did you and Appa meet? You know, I'm named after a type of poem, right? No, I didn't actually. Yeah, Appa told me. Venba is kind of like a haiku. Do I need to move me over? The private school where I was teaching was treating both staff and students terribly. No proper equipment for rooms and horrible pay, so we organized a protest. We had signs and boards and dozens of people. One day we were told a reporter wanted to interview us. We thought this was a big break. But he was the shabbiest person I'd ever seen. He looked like he had just woken up. Was it Appa? Yes. Still, I answered all his questions and hoped for the best. A week later, we all read the article that came out in the magazine. But it wasn't an article. Was it a poem? It was a Venba. A gorgeous one, too. It was about the school, the students, our protest, and it was about me. Somehow people could ignore our protest, but they couldn't ignore the poem. It received a lot of attention, and as a result, so did our protest. The school was forced to change, and I was smitten. Aww. Aw. Well, I think this is where I'm gonna have to put a pin in it. I know, it sucks, but as much as I want to hear more about them, we'll save the next question for the next time. So take care, everybody.